Yeah, we are live. What's going on, people? We have some familiar faces and maybe not as available faces. So it's like we're being construction royalty today. Um,
Thanks.
so we got folks out there. If you're out there in the Omniverse, today registration is open for LCI Congress 25. And this live stream is about kicking it off and pumping the energy and adding clarity to any questions or thoughts or maybe even observations you might have about the experience. And so we have Miss Joan, Miss Jennifer, and Mr. Keyan. So let's go around the room, Miss Joan, just in case there might be some people that don't know about your glamorous self. Would you mind letting them know who you be?
Oh, sure, absolutely. Thank you, Jesse. I'm Joan Picarello. I'm in Arlington, Virginia, and I am with the Lean Construction Institute and the program manager for the Congress. So we're very excited to be bringing Congress to Arlington, Texas this year.
Yeah, and I'm gonna add, Joe, you're also the glue. It spreads super, super, super thin. It kind of keeps everything together. It goes unnoticed. So it's amazing how much work you take on and handle to keep these things going on. It's not your first time, and you're just a brilliant at executing on it. And then we have another troublemaker, Miss Jennifer. Like, I know that you're always on the screen with me. Everybody out there already sees your face. But why are you on this call? What's your connection to this Congress thing?
Well, specifically is that Keyan and I are co-chairing the event in Arlington, Texas. And this has been a 2.5 year, 3 year conversation in the making. And this year we have just gotten to really focus on Texas and doing it epic and big. And again, how we can expand the reach and exposure and get people excited about lean construction and just making the construction industry better.
Nice. So you and Keyan are co-conspirators for
Yeah,
Arlington, Texas. That's what I heard. Yeah.
that sounds great. Yes.
And how about you, the grand poobah co-author of the Lean Builder, Keyan? Like, what's the deal, bro?
Hey Jesse, yeah, I'm pumped, man. I told Jennifer if I were ever to do this, she'd have to be the one that I do it with, and so it's been a ton of fun. We are super excited. Like they say, in Texas, go big or go home, and so we think this is going to be the biggest Congress ever. Super pumped about the presentations and all the different features and things we're doing this year. So excited to talk about it.
Excellent, excellent. So, Joan, this one's for you. And I'm 100% committed to the goal of like blowing. What did we say? 7,000 registrations.
You're going to scare them.
Like, what do you think, Miss Jones? Like, you've been in it for years and years. Does it feel like we're gonna meet the goal, exceed the goal? What are you reading in the tea leaves?
Oh, yeah. I think we have a very strong program this year, and we hope to meet or exceed our goal. Absolutely.
Yes. All I heard was exceed. I lost your audio with the other words. Oh, look, we got another troublemaker. She is on the planning committee. Miss Laura says, "Good morning, rock stars. Excited for LCI Congress." Oh yeah, it's going down in Arlington, Texas, not Arlington, Virginia. All right, so they just texted me this question. This is coming in from like hot topic. Do you have to be an author to be co-chair of Congress? Like, what's up with that? That's kind of tough.
I'll let you answer that, Jen.
No, you do not have to be an author to be co-chair. It just happens to be based on some of the stuff we've written, but also some of the spaces that we show up, that even though Keyan and I work for different firms, even competing firms, we have realized the value of the community within LCI and how we leverage that. And so that is how our friendship kind of started, but also how we know we need to represent in front of everyone that shows up in Arlington.
Oh, I love it. Look, we got Tammy, Miss Tammy. She says 7,000. Yes. See there, approved. We just got to do it now. And we got another repeat offender, Josh Wallace, coming in saying good morning.
He's presenting at Congress this year, so that's exciting. I know.
Absolutely.
So, Jen, you mentioned like community, and for clarity, folks, you don't have to be an author, right? Like supporting the LCI community is a real commitment and a meaningful one. And so you said something about the community. And I know, because I know you, that you've been engaged with LCI for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And so what does this idea of the lean construction community, like, how is that like more pronounced, or is it just on the marketing in terms of Congress? What is that community experience like at the event?
So for me, again, that's how I got pulled in. So my company supported it. We were doing lean within our firm. And then my first Congress that I went to, it was just like, I don't know, lean on steroids. I mean, it was so much where I get to see a glimpse of something in some spaces. And I get to go, oh, that's a cool idea. Or, oh, I see where they're doing that. You go to Congress and it's everything. It touches everything. It's literally woven into every learning day, every presentation, every keynote, like everything that happens at Congress leads with like, how do we be better? How are we better? How do we respect people? How do we optimize the flow? How do we like generate value? How do we eliminate waste? All the things that those of us, that live in this, believe it. You see glimpses in other places, and it's in everything when you go to Congress.
Awesome. Thank you, Jen. So Keyan, this one's for you, because you're kind of like a big chief all over the place, right? CEO of Skiles. How do you feel about your people sharing experience with competitors?
Yeah, well, first I'll start kind of like Jen. I've been going to Congress for years. I think my first one was in 2009, and coming in brand new, I was there to learn. By 2013, I submitted my first abstract and presented, and really that was kind of this feeling of like, now how can I give back? And so it gets me very excited. I still learn every time I go. I want our people to come and share their experience. One, they're learning from others, but then two, those of us that have been part of this lean construction thing for a long time, this is about the industry. This is about the people. How can they work in a way that is more respectful, less stressful, healthier? And so when you're listening to the best and brightest talk about what's working within their firm or within their projects, and they're sharing this experience, what we're doing is we're really raising the tide for the industry and setting this expectation of what our industry should be. And so in my role at our firm Skiles Group, we're there to learn from others, but then we're also there to share some of our experience to kind of really give back. And at the end of the day, there's a ton of work for everybody. And what we need to do is focus on what that work is, because ultimately we're not going to be able to attract talent into this industry unless we have an industry that people are excited to go into. And so a lot of the stuff that Jen and I have been working on is really focused around people first. And I think that's what's going to make this Congress really special.
Oh my God. All right. So here's the question, folks out there in the Omniverse. If you got a question, and if you have already registered, let us know in the comments, because you get extra credit for that. But in terms of people first, some people are going to say, well, yeah, like means respect for people. But how is it different in terms of what people are going to, or the experience that y'all are cultivating, that the whole planning committee is cultivating for this year? What's new that reinforces or maybe even introduces this idea or practice of people first?
So I want to hit big picture of like the way we looked at it, and then Keyan can speak to maybe some specific things that we're doing at this Congress that have not been done before. Is that good?
Sure. Yeah.
So I think for us, our goal coming in is, again, we've attended a lot of Congresses and we have made a lot of friendships. We have a community, the networking, the power of all that. Like, we knew all of that coming in was going to be valuable. And so I think what we doubled down on when we were looking at the planning committee and who was going to be out there and who was going to lead those things that was going to help get us the biggest, best, brightest things that could ever happen, at a Congress, get the right people in those leadership roles. I think we were intentional about getting people that had network connections, that were out there serving and that were out there putting people first, so that when they were leading and they were recruiting people onto their teams, they were going to do it in the way that we show up. That was the biggest thing. And then the other is, as we were going through and we were doing abstract reviews, and we were really looking at representation on getting the right people up on the stage and getting people to share. Our goal was how can we make that as big as possible and get exposure to have different firms that maybe haven't presented before, or have people that haven't presented before have an opportunity to come and share something that they're proud of. And so we were, I think in the entire planning committee, in the abstract review committee, we were very intentional in what does our conditions of satisfaction look like? Are we meeting that? And how can we make sure that we get a good cross section of the industry to help them see that there is a better way?
Nice.
Yeah, to dive in, Jess. So just for some geography, Arlington, Texas is right between Dallas and Fort Worth. And it's where the Cowboys play. It's where the Rangers play. And so the whole premise this year with the Congress is this is about building champions. And, a lot of times when you go to Congress, the value you get is by attending the sessions. But what we've noticed over the years is that in those 30 to 45-minute breaks in between the sessions is really where people get to connect. There's so many stories that get to be told. You get to follow up with colleagues and peers. And so our premise around people is not just in the abstract sessions, but really around what's going on in those breaks. So this year, we have an all-star booth where we have lean all-stars from around the country that work in the industry that are going to be available for people to book time with, to ask their lean questions to. There's a coaches table tying back into the theme where you can go to coaches in the industry and ask your questions. Anybody in our industry that has a podcast that is all about people and empowering people in the construction industry that are coming to Congress are going to have time, and they're going to be running podcasts live while we're at Congress, talking about different themes, interviewing people. And so really the premise is to have that focus, not just based on what the abstract presentations are, but really a thread that ties throughout the entire day.
Oh my goodness. It's amazing. So it's like from selection, inception, and building and building and building, recognizing those, like the hidden value, right? The value that wasn't on the agenda, which I'm so glad that y'all read the agenda I sent before this call.
Yeah.
Now, Joan, you've been behind the thing for a while, right? Have you seen a shift in terms of like the people appreciating the community element, like the people connection stuff, or has that been like a consistent thing since your beginning?
Oh, well, yeah, it's definitely evolving, but that was one of the kind of highlights of my first Congress when, I joined LCI, and I was like, gosh, these presenters, they come and they stay the entire time. Like, I had supported another event for another association. I was like, some of these presenters pop in for their hour and they pop out, but these folks, they really want to connect with the audience and share throughout the Congress and are happy to talk to folks. And I would just say to any new attendee, don't be afraid to ask a question or stop somebody in the hall. The people are going to be very open and sharing with you.
Yeah, absolutely right. It's kind of because, well, I don't know about anybody else's experience except for mine, but when I started tinkering around with the stuff, I was like doing it to the best of my understanding. And there was, at the time, it was so rare. There wasn't anybody that I could say like, hey, I'm doing this and I'm struggling. Have you tried something different? Have you overcome this thing? Fast forward 20 years and, the LCI community, people are willing, like not just willing, looking for a victim to share and to share notes with, right? To talk about the lessons learned, the best practices, and so forth. And so to reinforce what you said, Joan, like absolutely. For me, it's the community experience, right? It is the connection with the people there that are, like you said, Jen, focused on serving others. The processes are easy. They're steps. You follow the steps, like that's it. But it's the human beings that make all the difference in the world. And so now, Keyan, you said that the theme is like developing or building champions or champion teams. Is there any other thing going on through the week that kind of people can leverage or that kind of will help signal this team theme?
Yeah. One of the things that I wanted to bring up, and this is kind of a call to action for all our COPs across the country. In my mind, these folks are the real MVPs, right? They're in their market, they're volunteering plenty of time and hours and energy of trying to push this message around respect for people and continuous improvement and adding value and waste. And a lot of times, the work, no one understands really what goes into it. And so for us, one thing that Jen and I have been working on, and I think behind the scenes you've been pushing along, is like we really want COP leaders to show up full force, representing their city that they're coming from. We're going to have some things that are tied into that as that will continue to roll out. But it's really, those are the people that are volunteering their time, that are pushing the industry forward, and we're going to recognize those people at Congress.
Oh, I love it. Because yes, there's a huge amount of free services that the COP leaders and members provide to the community. And did I hear you right, Keyan, in saying like, where y'all at, COPs? Why haven't you done a live stream about the cool things y'all are doing out there?
Come represent, maybe DFW COP will be wearing our jerseys representing. So there's going to be more coming out, but really we want to acknowledge these people, continue to promote LCI, and we're going to have a lot of fun doing it.
Oh man, I love it. So selfie booths, maybe something to think about. Mr. Clyde King says it's definitely all about community. Those network connections make a difference. And I'll just, to add on that, thank you, Clyde. Like if you're out there in the wilderness practicing this lean construction stuff, last planner, whatever you're trying, and you feel like you're just horrible, it doesn't work because you're no good, false, it's work. And there's a lot of people that have been exactly where you're at. And Congress is the place to connect with people that are on varying levels of their deployment and understanding of exercising the thing. So come on, man, come join the LCI community, live and in person. So
Jesse, I'll just add that many of our presentations address, whatever failure they went through or project team or what have you, and how they grew around that or worked around it. So it's very open discussion.
Yeah, well, and isn't that part of like the abstract selection process to kind of vet out people wanting to market and sell their stuff and really like come deliver some actionable insights for the speakers, or for the audience?
Yep.
100%.
And specifically, and I think this year we're trying to make sure that as our teams are prepping and our champions are helping them, that how do all stakeholders walk away with something? So how do our clients and our owners, how do our designers, how do our trade partners and our GCs, how does everyone leave the room with like, ooh, this is something I need to go and I need to really, I can use.
Yeah.
Today, right? Like at the end of the day, these are things I can go put into practice right now.
Yep.
Right.
All right. So there's a few things, right? There's learning days, there's the golf tournament, there's Gamba days, there's the conference, the breakout sessions, there's vendors, sponsors, exhibitors. Like, are there any goals associated with that stuff?
Yes. So Keyan and I, when we were trying to figure out what those goals look like, we were looking at numbers that were hopes and we expect to be bigger than Congress has had before. So when you have a goal of the biggest, over 2,000 people, like they've never had numbers like that before. For us, we then drilled down and went like, instead of we need 427 from, like, we went percentages. So we want, once we get this big number, we want certain percentages to be trade, certain percentages to be design, certain percentages to be new members. So those were the numbers that we are really, we're excited about because we think we're going to hit them. But we're looking at that based on the biggest number that LCI's ever had at Congress.
And then in the deeper metrics, we did a whole conditions of satisfaction and really try to put ourselves in the shoes of the new person coming for the first time, the experienced practitioner, a trade partner that may be a little intimidated because they got invited by a general contractor and they don't know what to expect, a design partner that has a story to tell, and really build a condition of satisfaction for each one of those people around what success would look like. And so there's a lot of things just tied into making sure that people walk away after each presentation with something that's applicable that they can go immediately try within their work and different things like that. And that each one of our planning session meetings, we go through the conditions of satisfaction just to make sure we're on track and to see, are we really setting this thing up that's going to achieve that. So.
And I just wanted to add, over the 2-day core program, we have 5 sessions per day. So and within those time slots, you have between 6 and 8 presentations to choose from. But then after Congress, you will receive an email from us. You'll have an audio recording of all those presentations. So you can't be somewhere, 8 rooms at the same time, but you will have access to that content.
Oh, okay. So if I decide to go see all my friends to heckle them, that doesn't mean I completely missed out on all the stuff that I really needed. I'm going to have an audio version of all the presentations so that I could consume that at my leisure when I'm brushing my hair or whatever.
Audio and visual. You'll have the PDF plus the audio recording. You bet, Jesse.
Oh my goodness, I love it.
And it's and again, I just want to double down on, you have access to all the presentations, because I have, after Congress, you're kind of doing a whole lot of stuff, and then later on you hear about somebody presented there, or I had someone that asked me a question and I'm like, oh, well, we had a presentation at Congress about this content. Oh, that's great. Could you send me, kind of what it was about? And then I was able to go and actually have the audio of the presentation with the PowerPoint to be able to really take that and then share it, share not just the file, but the takeaways and the things we talked about. And you have that for all the presentations on those 2 days.
Yeah. Just the only other thing I was going to share that we've been extremely intentional on, and Joan has spent a ton of time, is, there's a bunch of different tracks, right? So if you have 5 to 6 presentations going on at the same time, some are for design firms, some are built around trade, some are built around tools, some are built around culture. And so each time slot, we try not to double up on those kind of things. That way, you don't have 3 culture presentations competing. You don't have 3 last planner system presentations completing. So throughout the time, you can really decide as you register what you want to see at what session, and know that you most likely it's not going to be competing with something else.
Man, and I'm sure that was a piece of cake, huh?
To be honest, I checked out pretty quick. The matrix got too big. I let Jen and Joan take it.
That sounds like a major challenge, but an extremely, I think, a beautiful example of understanding or practicing the concept of identifying customer value, right? It's about serving. Who are we serving? And putting in all that extra time and headache, like I'm already getting dizzy. I didn't even touch it because I know that's not easy. So we're coming up on time. There weren't a lot of comments, except we got Miss Tammy, who says learning into action. Yes. And Mr. Byron, fellow troublemaker, he said that's great news, being able to replay videos. This way you can get the full experience. Yes. And take it back to your company, take it back to your team, right? Because we know we can't send everybody to the thing because we got to do the building, but you can send, we'll say, some scouts to go and consume the content and get the thing and then come back and impart the insights and experience with the rest of the group. So lots and lots of opportunities for people to like, what's the popular phrase right now? Repurposing content, right? Now in terms of education and putting learning into action. So my guess is we are not flooded with comments because everybody is registering right now. Registration is open, and there are some cost benefit or price benefits in terms of signing up for learning days and some of the Gemba days and some of the other awesome things that are connected to the main 2-day session. So take advantage of that, y'all. Like today. If you do,
yes,
send
yes,
me
yes.
DM, post it on the link.
Big number today.
Tag all your friends because we want to cause a little bit of panic with like, oh my God, we got so many people signing up. Like that would be the ultimate outcome. Here's a question. So take this question and then we'll go into closing thoughts.
Okay.
Mr. Josh Wallace says, if I register for Congress today, ooh, that's a really good question. Can I go back and add learning days or a Gemba walk? I don't know. You don't.
Yes, Josh, absolutely. So once you register, you click on the core program, you add that to your cart. You can add your learning day sessions. We have a day and a half of learning days, Monday afternoon, and either full day on Tuesday or morning or afternoon sessions. We do have a Friday morning Gemba walk and Monday afternoon golf. So you can add those today, or if you want to wait, you'll get a confirmation email and we'll be able to log back in and select those. We did sell out on learning day last year, so we just suggest you add those as soon as you can. And we do expect to sell out from the hotel room block. So once your registration comes through at midnight, you'll receive a confirmation email with a link to the hotel room block. But we do encourage you to book your room as soon as you can.
Yeah. So yes, and sign up for everything right now because there are limited quantities of all the things. And there's one where I know that there's going to be this super wacky but very attractive and wise presenter that I think you should sign up for, but I can't disclose that information right now. So
also, the opening registration rates are in place and they're through the end of July, but then your rates will go up. So that's another nugget we wanted to leave with you. Just please try to register as soon as you can because you'd want to take advantage of those opening registration prices.
Yes. So Josh, what Joan is telling you is pay the regular registration today, and then tomorrow sign up for the Gemba walk and select your learning day session. I'm joking. I may be mistranslating, but that's what I heard.
And someone is asking, what is the Gemba walk?
Oh, yes. Is it a new TikTok dance? Jen, Keyan, I think that's a challenge.
So I'll answer, and then Joan, if you want to just give some specifics. I know that Gemba walk, what we've learned with in Lean in general is you go to the place of the work. So we can be in an office and we can talk about a tool and we can even present on how to do the tool. But the best way to understand it is to go to where the tool and the process is being implemented. And so we try to take that and we translate that for Congress into, we actually have 5 now, I believe, right, Joan? 5 Gemba walks that people can sign up for, and they can actually go to projects or go to warehousing, go to places that lean tools, processes are being implemented, and you get to walk around and they're opening their doors and they're sharing kind of what they're doing and how they're implementing these things. And so it is we just know when you're there where the work is being done, your learning is better. You can ask better questions from the people that are actually doing it.
Yeah.
And those occur Friday morning, but you'll be back at the hotel by Friday at noon. So if you're flying out, you can catch your flight.
Yeah.
And then we do have another question. What is the best day to arrive at Congress?
Well, I know the answer. I'm showing up Saturday before the whole thing starts. So, that's the best day. But on a serious note, there's learning. So Monday is kind of the first thing that you can go sink your teeth into, which is learning days. Will be a half-day session. That afternoon, there's a golf tournament on Monday. Tuesday, there's more learning day stuff. Wednesday, Thursday is all the breakouts and all the other keynote. We have some awesome keynote speakers. And then Friday is Gemba Day. So for me, Sunday is like, if you're not there by Sunday, you're late. But depending on what it is you want to really sink your teeth into, you can make your decision based on that.
And Tuesday afternoon, we have like a kind of opening reception. And then Wednesday at 4, we have our exhibit hall reception. So there's plenty of time to network with folks.
Oh, all I heard was snacks. I can't wait to have the snacks. So, Ms. Joan, you got a closing thought for us as we transition back to like doing maybe some work?
Oh, I wanted to thank, Jen and Keyan for their leadership and our Congress content and outreach team. We have like 40 champions that are moderating all our breakout sessions. We have a ton of volunteers. So we have a great LCI staff. So there's really a lot of the lean design and construction community behind this effort. And we really appreciate you all.
Yes. Beautiful. Thank you, Ms. Joan. Ms. Jennifer.
Yes. So Keyan touched on it earlier. I just want to really reinforce it. Is this industry, it's been broken. There's a lot of things that are wrong with it. And we are seeing the tide turn and we're seeing things get better. And we know that Keyan's not going to get all the work. I'm not going to get all the work. Jesse, you're not going to get all the work. But we know if we are out there and we are doing things right and we are sharing and we are trying to make things better, then the trades that are out there that work for Keyan and then they come work for me, we're going to have a better project. If we're out there and we are taking care of our trades and they are doing things because people care about them and because they know that we respect the work they're doing, they're going to do better work. And so that is again, if nothing else, Keyan and I we believe this with everything in us and that we can do this together. We don't have to be against somebody to make this better.
I love it. All right, Keyan, now you got to top that.
Well, I was just going to say, come to Texas, register for Congress. The weather is going to be awesome in October. The venue's beautiful. Google Texas Live. It's right across the street. There's going to be a lot of social hour and a lot of fun going on. And there's just so much to do. Don't miss it.
10-4. Awesome. Well, thank you all for the work that y'all do behind the scenes, answering the questions from the folks out there in the Omniverse. And folks, sign up. Like, registration is open. Some of those the cool stuff, like the Friday, Monday, Tuesday stuff, is limited. So they are going to sell out. Sign up now. Invite your people, and we'll see you in Arlington in October.